Gentlemen, you need to be careful out there. These days, you need a camera with you at all times. In previous videos, I talked about why men should avoid dating and marriage. But even if you're just looking for a one-night stand, you need to be extremely careful. In this video, we're going to talk about Armaan Premjee. He was a USC student who was falsely accused of rape.
Well, I was very surprised that these charges would be brought against me because I hadn't done anything wrong.
USC student Armaan Premjee charged with rape after a night out at an off-campus bar. But he says security video from the night of April 1st, taken from banditos, shows he's innocent.
When I saw the videos, I was very relieved that there was proof to substantiate my side of the story.
The only thing that saved him was this video footage. And what are the chances of there being video evidence if something like this were to happen to someone else? If there was no video evidence, it would have been his word against hers, and he would have no leg to stand on. And by the way, out of curiosity, how old was this girl?
Was the woman in this case a 19-year-old?
She was 19 and getting drunk at a bar. Last I checked, you needed to be at least 21. Any attention called for her wrongdoing? Nope, we'll just gloss over that.
The video shows Premjee and a female student kissing in the bar's back corner, her arms around his neck. Premjee said she kept pulling him closer, and after several minutes, she led him by the hand out of the bar. On the sidewalk, Premjee said the girl introduced him to her roommate, where she made sexual gestures behind his back.
She made a gesture to her friend of her plans to have intercourse with me that night.
Premjee says they had both been drinking. The two are seen leaving in an Uber before arriving to the girl's dorm room.
Bad move, bro. Gentlemen, you need to think with this head, not this one. Not only can you potentially get yourself into legal trouble by hooking up with a girl, but the types of girls who go to nightclubs are also the types of girls who have at least 10 different diseases in them. Ugh.
Security video there shows the alleged victim stopping to sign him in.
After I had sex with her, I left, and the next day the LAPD was at my doorstep asking me about, what happened.
Premjee says the alleged victim never reported the incident to police, but he was charged with rape after he says her roommates gave officers his name. Premjee said the girl was the aggressor, and last Saturday a judge agreed after seeing the video, cleared him of all charges.
Hearing the judge give a ruling, it made us believe that there is justice.
Sorry, lady, but this is not justice. In this country, everyone is supposed to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, not the other way around. It gets even worse. Not only did Armaan have to prove his innocence, but he's still not in the clear. Get a load of this.
But Premjee's innocence will have to be proven once again. He says USC's Office of Equity and Diversity is conducting its own investigation.
I could get suspended or expelled from the university even though the judge has declared me innocent.
The business major, who's going into his junior year, says he's staying optimistic. He wants to stay in school and finish his degree.
I'm hopeful that USC will make the right decision. USC is not above the law, and so I'm hoping that USC will dismiss the case.
And Armaan says that he has a hearing with the ethics committee in the next few weeks. Meantime, he says he's supposed to pay fall tuition, start classes, and then wait for their decision. We reached out to the university but didn't hear by news time tonight.
So being proven innocent somehow isn't enough. The university's ethics board still has the power to kick him off campus. First of all, what resources does the university have that the police don't? Secondly, what more could the university want? There was video evidence in his favor. That should have been the end of it. But apparently that didn't matter to USC because their Office of Equity and Diversity found him guilty anyway and expelled him. They eventually retracted this decision and Armaan was finally reinstated. But gentlemen, this is the justice system. It does not work for you. This is some patriarchy we're living in, right? Feminists often complain about the patriarchy.
Oh my god, the government is run by mostly men.
Well, these feminists only look at who the laws are made by, not who they are made for. I made another video called Equal Crime, Unequal Time, where I talk more about the gender inequality when it comes to punishments for crimes. Anyway, not only is a man not presumed innocent in the first place, but he has to prove his innocence again. And even after his innocence is proven, he still has to suffer negative consequences. This man's name is tarnished. He suffers negative social stigma. His likelihood of getting a job decreases. But if you ask me, men who have been falsely accused should be getting reparations from the accuser. But nope, instead it's, oh, so you were falsely accused? Okay, well, my bad, you're free to go now, let's just forget anything happened. No, True justice should be served. That means the man should be made whole again, and the accuser should face serious consequences. But unfortunately, that's not what happens. Get a load of this story. This will give you an idea of what life is like for men even after he's proven innocent.
And only on 7 News, this police interview with a Fort Collins woman. She was later convicted for making phony rape accusations, and the man she accused was arrested and put in jail 1 year ago today. Well, tonight, he is speaking to 7 News reporter Lindsay Watts about why he is still struggling to pick up the pieces.
It's definitely a reminder of what I've been through.
Accused of rape, cuffed at the police station the day before Thanksgiving.
I can ask you some questions regarding the crime of sexual assault.
Watching it back 1 year later, Dustin Toth says his life still feels out of control.
Okay.
His accuser, Catherine Bennett, a coworker he'd started dating.
And right now, the statements that I've been given do not match evidence.
This is exclusive video of her police interview. As Toth sat in jail, her story fell apart.
I'm not telling you to drop charges. I want to know the facts about what happened.
Bennett later convicted of making it all up. She was sentenced to 35 days in jail, then an ankle monitor and probation.
I don't feel that's justice.
It certainly is not justice. The man who was falsely accused gets a harsher sentence than the woman who accused him.
Toth says he's the one who's been punished. The Army National Guardsman lost his civilian job and was out of work for nearly 6 months after the arrest.
I've been behind on my car payment ever since.
He has his friends, but the emotional pain is still there.
I feel like I'm incapable to actually trust a woman again.
Nor should you. You can't trust them because the law is not on your side. Even if you find a woman who wouldn't do that, the power for her to do so is still there. The fact remains that at any time she could change her mind. And you know what they say, it's a woman's prerogative to change her mind. She can still totally screw you over. All of us fully understand that no means no. However, a yes from a woman can last for one night only and then magically turn into a no the next day. And apparently it's the man's responsibility to predict the future and know when yes means yes, or if the yes is only temporary.
She 100% could have revoked consent.
Vanessa Gregoriadis spent 3 years speaking to college students across the country, exploring consent and the rules of engagement.
It's not enough for a woman to verbally say no. The man must ask her for a yes. Yes, do you want to do this? Yes, does this seem like a good idea to you?
Notice how women are somehow absolved from this responsibility? What about the fact that he was drinking too? There's more evidence to show that if anything, he was the victim. Because not only did he have alcohol in his system as well, but the girl was clearly the aggressor. Yet he's the one who gets in trouble. But the actual aggressor is the one who has her identity protected and her face blurred. Why is none of this taken into consideration? Instead, the responsibility falls entirely on you, gentlemen. Before you get it on with the girl, have her fill out a questionnaire like this. Ask her permission for all forms of physical contact and check what her blood alcohol level is. You better have all this data before you do anything, mister. On the flip side, this is what a woman's checklist would be for you. If you're not a male model, she will regret having sex with you the next day. If you are a male model, the only thing she'll regret is not remembering having sex with you. She'll gladly go for round 2, but sober this time. So basically, it's only sexual assault if she regrets it the next day, and she will only regret it the next day if she didn't find the guy attractive. So basically, victims of false rape allegations only go to jail because the girl didn't find him attractive enough. Their only quote-unquote crime was not being as good-looking as the girl would have hoped. We'll look at one more case of a false accuser.
He had purchased strawberritas for me to drink.
Molly Morris says she quickly became too out of it to give consent. She was a student at the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, hanging out at a party with a classmate, Corey Mock, when she suddenly felt sick.
I was throwing up and feeling really dizzy, could not feel my arms or legs.
Next thing she knew, she says she blacked out.
The next morning I woke up and I was completely naked in the sheets at the base of the bed. He was at the top of the bed.
She says she immediately defined it as rape and filed a report with the school saying Corey, a wrestler on the school team, forced himself on her when she was in no condition to consent.
I now have depression streaks, anxiety streaks, night terrors.
Depression, anxiety, and night terrors. I bet she wouldn't have any of that if he was the one giving it to her that night instead of him.
It's on his record. His life is ruined.
But there is another side to this. C.D. Mock is Corey's father. and he says his son was completely blindsided by Morris's accusation.
He was just blown away. He didn't even know how to react.
Corey, who declined to be interviewed, told his father that he remembered the night very differently and that he and Morris had consensual sex.
Would I ever think that my son would be involved in sexual assault? Absolutely not.
The university initially dismissed the charges against Corey in a non-criminal hearing, but weeks later reversed that ruling, finding him responsible. But after that, a local court said the school improperly shifted the burden of proof. No charges were brought. But by then, CD says, the damage had been done.
If you're labeled a rapist, you can't go to parties, you can't be with any of one of the opposite sex.
This is why you really need to be careful out there, gentlemen. The justice system does not work for you. Don't let this happen to you. Stay safe out there, and until next time, I'm out.